When you think of the world's most powerful reptile, you probably think of this: Australia. Wild, remote, and dangerous. But what if I told you the real heart of crocodile territory, the deadliest hotspot on the planet, isn't here at all? It's in Southeast Asia. This is a story of a forgotten population. In the rivers of Malaysia and Singapore, they're making a comeback in our own backyards. In Indonesia, they claim more human lives than anywhere else on Earth. But here's the twist. They are vital ecosystem engineers, and in many places, people have found a way to live alongside them. So how can the world's deadliest crocodile also be a sign of a healthy planet? Stick around, because this story is wilder than you imagine.
I mean, people are entitled to their sexual proclivities, I mean, let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom as far as I'm concerned, But I ain't spending any time on it, because in the meantime, every 3 months, a person is torn to pieces by a crocodile in North Queensland.
Bob Catter would have you believe that Australia is overrun with crocodiles and it's the epicenter of croc attacks in the world. To truly understand the scale of this story, our first stop needs to be Indonesia. Forget the statistics you know. While Australia, with its global reputation, averages around one fatal croc attack per year, some regions in Indonesia report dozens. We're talking about a level of human-crocodile conflict that is completely unmatched anywhere in the world. But why? It's not because the crocodiles are inherently more aggressive in Indonesia. It's more that it's a perfect storm. As Indonesia's population has grown, communities are pushed deeper into the crocodile's historic territory. Palm oil plantations and illegal mining have fragmented their habitats, forcing these ancient reptiles into closer and more frequent contact with people who rely on those same rivers to live. In many communities, this relationship is complex. The crocodile is a deep creature of cultural significance, sometimes seen as an ancestor or a spirit. But when resources are scarce and a 1,000-kilo predator is competing for your waterway, reverence can quickly turn to fear and conflict. From the flashpoint of Indonesia, we move to a different kind of encounter. You might expect crocodiles in the remote jungles of Malaysia's Borneo, but what about the waterways of the major cities of Kuala Lumpur or the reservoirs of hypermodern Singapore? Yes, they're here. Saltwater crocodiles, the same giant species found in Australia and Indonesia, are incredibly adaptable survivors. In Malaysia, as particularly Kuala Lumpur, populations are rebounding, and sightings in rivers once thought empty are becoming much more common. Here, in one of the most densely populated countries in the world, crocodiles are thriving. This is Singapore. Singapore's approach is to make sure that crocodiles are tracked, monitored, and the public is made aware of their presence all throughout the country, including quarries like behind me here. But not every story is about conflict or surprise. Some are about hope. For decades, the Siamese crocodile was considered functionally extinct in the wild in Thailand, hunted relentlessly for its soft-belly skin to make luxury handbags. It vanished from the country's lakes and rivers. But then, something incredible happened. Through dedicated captive breeding programs and immense conservation efforts, they were reintroduced. Today, against all odds, small populations are once again breeding in the wild. Our final stop takes us to the Philippines, home to a crocodile you've probably never heard of. This isn't the giant, globe-trotting saltwater crocodile. Meet Crocodilus mindorensis, the Philippine crocodile, the rarest crocodile in the entire world. Critically endangered, with possibly fewer than 250 adults left in the wild, this species is on the absolute brink. It prefers freshwater swamps, putting it in direct conflict with the needs of the local communities. It's threatened by habitat loss and destructive fishing practices. The fight to save the Philippine crocodile is a race against time, a last stand for a unique species of our planet's natural heritage. So we've seen the danger. We've seen the conflict, we've seen the conservation and the fight for survival of these species. But what makes them so special in Southeast Asia? Why are they so important? The truth is, crocodiles are not villains, they're architects. As apex predators, crocodiles help keep a healthy ecosystem from the top down. They prey on sick and weak animals, preventing the spread of disease. They control populations of invasive fish that might otherwise decimate native species. Their abandoned nests create nutrient-rich hotspots for plants to grow. They are a living, breathing indicator of a thriving ecosystem. Simply put, where you find healthy crocodiles, you'll find healthy wilderness. From the deadly rivers of Indonesia to the protective reserves of Thailand, the story of Asia's crocodiles is one of incredible complexity. They are not monsters lurking in the shadows, but essential parts of a world we are increasingly sharing. The path forward isn't to fear them, but to understand them, to respect their power, and to give them their space. The forgotten giants of Asia are a powerful reminder that our world is still profoundly wild. For millions of years, crocodiles have reigned as the apex predators of Southeast Asia. Yet, we pushed them to the brink. Now, as crocodiles finally return to Borneo's waterways, a terrifying pattern is emerging. More crocodiles, more fatal attacks. But what if this isn't a story about a successful conservation effort? What if it's a story about something else? Something that's destroying their world and forcing them into ours. The truth behind the attacks is a story you need to hear. I can't just stay in Singapore for this one, so today we're going to understand what's really happening. You have to understand the connection between people and these rivers. I've also come here to visit my auntie, who's an English teacher here in Brunei. My uncle, Patrick, is an indigenous Bumbawan Malay. His family has lived in the Temberon region for generations and has a deep understanding and respect of the waterways and the land surrounding Brunei and Malaysia. Our first stop on this journey is out of the city into Sungei Temberon, or translated to English, Temberon River. Before we went deeper into Temberon, we needed to acknowledge the traditional owners, Patrick's ancestors, who in their culture looked after the land and us as we enter.
Yes, this is the rock. Belong to these old people here. They will take care of this land. Still have the people around here, but you cannot see them.
No.
They are very strong people.
Shortly after passing the Ancestors Rock, we came across a family having a fish on the jetty here in high tide. The water was almost at the jetty's height itself. And then, Patrick utters a sentence that turns my heart inside out.
They saw the crocodile.
3 hours into Brunei and I'm already about to see my first crocodile. As you can imagine, I was pretty ecstatic. This guy was absolutely beautiful. At the same time, I couldn't help think, what about the family at the end of the jetty? They've seen a crocodile, but they'll still continue to fish there. I asked Patrick about this, and his answer was very simple. This is the way of life. These families have been fishing here for generations. Normally several people are fishing at the same time, and all of them are on the lookout for a crocodile. For countless communities across Borneo, this river isn't a choice, it's survival. In the vast interior, where piped water and roads are still a luxury, the river is the supermarket and the highway and the washing machine all in one. There are communities in Croc territory that come every day to the river to bathe and wash because there's no running water. They fish not because it's a hobby, but because it's a primary source of income and protein for the family. And for many, a boat is the only way to get to school, a clinic, or a market. Prior to COVID-19, the only way to get to the city from Temberon was by boat. It goes to show that even with just education alone, you can't just stay away from the water when your entire life depends on it. This deep reliance creates a delicate balance, a respect built on generations of knowing your river and knowing the specific crocodiles that are sharing it with you. So the question still stands, does an increase in crocodile population mean more attacks? To answer this, we're going to have to go deeper into Croc territory. Peak fisherman times are dawn or late in the evening. This is the best time to find fish, but also it's the most active time to find crocodiles. I can't do it justice by just showing you the daytime. I have to show you the reality these people face on a daily basis. Our first stop was at the boat ramp right where fishermen dock their boats. And as you can see at the beginning, there's a large salty right at the edge of the water. So we went over to check them out and see what the fishermen deal with on a daily basis. We went to a second boat ramp shortly after this, and we found a second large salty as well, right on the boat ramp edge again, and again, and again. Every single boat ramp we went to, or boat adjacent area, had a saltwater crocodile. This is life living on the water in Borneo. But this is where it gets interesting, because most of these crocodiles are known to the community. There is a risk factor that everyone is aware of as they get into the water or near the water's edge. But the reality of the situation is everyone accepts the risk and they are educated on the risk. And if they are a threat or become a problem, they're removed. Patrick still told me stories of some attacks on the local community. There was a boy that was taken just down this river, and there are fishermen that are taken every now and then as well. By and large, most areas in Borneo, if the community knows the crocodile, they know how to manage the risk. But that delicate balance, which has been managed for centuries between humans and crocodiles, is now being shattered. And the trigger is that something more sinister I mentioned earlier. As human development and massive oil palm plantations expand across Borneo, they wage war on this environment. They clear land right to the riverbanks, polluting the water and destroying the crocodile habitats. What these plantations do is catastrophic. They destroy the crocodiles' hunting grounds and decimate their food sources. This creates a displaced, hungry, and stressed population of predators. But crucially, it pushes new and unknown crocodiles out of their territories and forces them into areas already occupied by people. The old rules of coexistence are broken because these aren't the same crocodiles the locals have known for generations. To put it simply, crocodiles own territories. So what happens when they're being displaced is that they try and claim a new territory from another crocodile. This could be very problematic down the road because they're going to be in a constant war until one crocodile owns the land, and any other human that gets in its way is also on target. The same situation happens when you cull a large crocodile. Normally, when you cull a large apex crocodile that owns a piece of land, young juvenile males will come in to try and claim that territory. Think like The Godfather. People are going to be vying for power. Now, because of this, when these juveniles come in, they will be fighting everything that looks like a competitor to its land. That includes humans. And this is where we start to see much more frequent crocodile and human encounters. So the hypothesis is that palm oil plantations are causing a huge problem for crocodiles in general in Borneo. So the question stands then after this: if we keep continuing to build infrastructure to serve our needs as human beings, can crocodiles still survive? To answer this, I'm going to take you back to the Brunei city. We're going to go over the bridge and I'm going to show you something very special. G'day guys, I'm here with Patrick, who's a local indigenous Malay from Brunei. So Patrick, tell me a bit more about yourself and your family's heritage here in Brunei.
My name is Patrick. I'm from Temburong. I'm a culture Lun Bawang, which is Murut on behalf. In Brunei, we call it Murut. So Lun Bawang is away from Sarawak. Now we at the river, we call it Kulap River. So it's connected with the Gadong area. So I'm very sorry. So everywhere is rubbish. So welcome to Brunei anyway. So full detail, yeah, Kalam. So if you see the river, there are alligator here. So crocodiles,
That's a crocodile over there.
Yeah.
That's a crocodile.
Yeah.
We're gonna zoom in real quick. Hold on.
So
meet Delilah. She's one of the city's many resident crocodiles. People watch her from all their condos and the restaurants along the water. In the years she has been around, there have been 0 attacks. No fear, just respect. Brunei shows us that coexistence with powerful predators isn't just a fantasy. It's about balance, even in the built-up areas. We were very lucky with Delilah. She was giving us a show today. We got to see her actively hunt. The way she did it, she'd circle around the river. So you could see in this footage that I'm showing you right now, she'll go back and forth, back and forth. Now, When she does this, she's going and scouting for either fish or prey that's sitting on the top of the tree to the right here. She'll sit at the bank, she'll wait for it, and then she'll lunge. We managed to see her grab something from the tree early on. Unfortunately, at this time, we were heading back to get coffee and we saw her just as we were leaving. So I had to run down and grab a snap of her just consuming the meal as she headed back into the water. It was quite good. I was pretty impressed about how she went about her business. It just goes to show though that you can have a crocodile living right next to condos in the middle of the city and coexistence still works. It does make sense if you have the right infrastructure and the right messaging around it. We saw plenty of examples of this in Brunei. We saw children's schools right on the water's edge. We saw maps throughout the city as you're walking next to the river of where the crocodiles could be for you to even snap a shot of them, like a tourist destination. Whilst the city is inhabited by many apex crocodiles, it seems that everyone goes about their business, and as long as there's an awareness around it in the city, it's okay. The problems come in when water is vital for survival, where daily use has to be made, regardless of whether there's a crocodile in there or not. This seems to be where the problems are really coming to run.
Actually, we don't fight with them. Anyway, we are the first indigenous in this Brunei. Anyway, so we eat anything. I'll be honest, we are indigenous in Brunei.
Yes.
So in belief, I'm talking about the Iban now, the Dayak in Sarawak, they believe they couldn't kill this animal. They couldn't kill animal. The wise, the crocodile eat their family once you get them. And anyway, so many happen in Totong side. They washed by the crocodile when they went to cross that river to try to go to his buffalo farm. So this guy just one step and then the crocodile washed him. And then Totong, this guy who on the beach they sold crocodile as well. He have a beach area, so he watched his kids watched by a crocodile.
So it's very common in
It's
Borneo.
very common in
Yes.
Borneo as well, very common. Talking about in Brunei, in Sarawak the worst, in Sabah now it's getting lots and lots.
And do
crocodile.
you think that there's something that we can do to make that better for people and the crocodiles to reduce the conflict across the board?
You cannot saying that stay out from the water.
Because that's your way of life,
This
right?
is a way of life to people who can catch fishing. Only do not swim.
Yes. I think we've seen that today. We've seen people camping. We'll get another shot.
Yeah.
But we've seen lots of people camping across the
River.
and including just having picnics on the river's edge. But I think the number one thing is just don't get in the water with these guys, especially when you see how big they are.
Yeah. And one thing is do not close to the river when you are camping. A bit high compared with the river, so the crocodile can climb up. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then take care of yourself. Don't swim. You can ask the kampong people, can you swim or can you fish? Can you camp? That is very important. Do not do it in yourself.
No.
Don't try to be a Tarzan. All right, guys. So welcome to Brunei.
So it's not just a numbers game. The evidence suggests not. It's a habitat game. The attacks we're seeing are a tragic symptom of an environment under immense pressure. Moving forward requires more than just science. It demands a deeper conversation about how we use the land and how we can learn to truly coexist, once again, with the ancient rulers of these rivers. Kuala Lumpur, a city of towering skyscrapers, bustling markets, and a vibrant urban pulse. But beneath the surface, flowing right through its heart, lies a secret. A legend whispered among the locals. A creature of ancient power, thriving in the most unexpected of places. I'm here in the heart of Malaysia's capital, not to visit the Petronas Towers today, but to embark on a quest. A quest to uncover the truth behind one of KL's most enduring mysteries. The elusive crocodile of the Klang River. It's a myth, a solitary survivor, or a testament to nature's incredible resilience? Join me as we dive into the murky waters of an urban legend. And stick around, this is a story you want to hear. Klang River, once a vital artery for tin mining, now weaves through millions of people. And for decades, tales have surfaced. Glimpses, whispers, and in more recent times, even clear video footage of a crocodile calling these waters home. But where do we even begin to look for a reptile in a river that cuts through a city like Kuala Lumpur? Our investigation starts with the hotspots, and this is where the story gets truly wild. We're not talking about some remote, forgotten corner of the city. The most frequent and talked about sightings have been right here, in the heart of KL's urban hustle. We're standing right next to Mid-Valley Mega Mall, one of the busiest shopping hubs in the entire country. Thousands of people are just over there, shopping, eating, living their daily lives, completely oblivious. It was right here in 2023 that footage went viral. A commuter spotted it, a dark shape, unmistakably a crocodile, moving silently through the water. Look at the murkiness of the river now. I can't help but feel that every floating log, every ripple on the surface, you start to question yourself as to whether there's a crocodile here or not. And if it is, where is it? Wait, hold on. What is that in the water? It's coming really fast. It's not, no way. It couldn't be. It's an otter. Hi, little guy. This is an Asian small-clawed otter. He's clearly just having a look around for a feed and maybe a place to burrow and hide for a couple hours. Wow, isn't he beautiful? You can find these guys pretty much everywhere in Southeast Asia, but if you really want to spot one in the wild, I'd highly recommend visiting Singapore or Malaysia because that's where the population density is the most. Wait a minute, hold on. There's another potential sighting. What is that in the water? Oh my, okay, it's a monitor lizard. Bloody big one at that, but let's move to the next destination to see if we can find the Croc upriver. So we went up the Klang River to go towards the Malayan Mansion building. The streets here are pretty busy and the noise is constant along the road. It feels like the last place on earth you'd find a large saltwater crocodile. Yet, another sighting was reported here. A fleeting glimpse, caught by a resident from their apartment window somewhere up here. To survive here, this animal must be a master of stealth. It is adapted to the world of concrete and noise, using the river as a hidden highway beneath the city. We came looking for a crocodile, but after visiting some of these spots, it's clear we're tracking a shadow. A legend that only reveals itself on its own terms. Me, I'm being eaten by mosquitoes. This is Masjid Jamek, the birthplace of Kuala Lumpur, where two rivers meet just over here. It's a place of peace and history, but in early 2024, it became a setting for another incredible sighting. The crocodile was reportedly seen basking on a small mudflat just over here. It appeared during low tide, right in the shadow of the mosque. The thought of a 2 or 3 meter crocodile finding a moment of peace right here in the cradle of the city is just mind-boggling. The authorities were alerted, but by the time anyone arrived, it had vanished, slipped back into the water without a trace. It's a true ghost. We've been watching for almost 20 minutes, but we've seen monitor lizards that are big. I haven't seen a crocodile yet. It's not what we're looking for. This story isn't of conflict, but of adaptation. The Klang River crocodile isn't hunting pets or snatching unwary citizens. Its diet likely consists of fish, perhaps water monitor lizards, creatures that also thrive in these urban waterways. It has learned to be incredibly secretive, avoiding human interaction, like a ghost of the river. This quiet existence proves that nature can find a way, even faced with immense urban sprawl. It challenges our preconceived notions that megacities are devoid of significant wildlife. It shows us that with little effort in conservation and a lot of natural instinct on the animal's part, even creatures we traditionally associate with remote wilderness can carve out a niche in our concrete jungles. It's a powerful message for urban planning and conservation efforts worldwide. But hold on, I still haven't found this damn crocodile. We need to go look further. Crocodiles are most active during night, So I've come out just before the sunrise to see if we can catch a final glimpse of this guy in one of the known locations at Brookfields. Visibility in the water was practically zero. The sun was rising and I decided to make my way downstream. And I noticed something very quickly. There are a lot of tracks around from large reptiles. As I continued downstream, the monitor lizards kept getting larger and larger and even larger. If they were any bigger than this, they'd have to be a crocodile eventually. It's getting harder and harder to find this crocodile. I'm seriously annoyed at all the monitor lizards around here. To truly understand the Klang River croc, we need to step back and look at Malaysia's deeper connection with these ancient reptiles. Crocodiles aren't new to the land. They are deeply woven into its natural and cultural fabric. Malaysia is home to a few species, most notably the saltwater crocodile, which is the largest living reptile and most likely candidate for our Klang River resident. These magnificent creatures have historically inhabited rivers, estuaries, and coastal areas across the archipelago. In Malay folklore and indigenous beliefs, crocodiles often hold a complex position, revered as powerful spirits, sometimes feared, sometimes seen as guardians of the waterways. Legends speak of Buya Putih, or white crocodiles, believed to be sacred. This rich cultural tapestry shows a long-standing, often respectful if cautious relationship between humans and crocodiles. However, as with many parts of the world, habitat loss and historical hunting push crocodile populations to the brink. Thankfully, stricter conservation laws are now in place and efforts are being made to protect these vital predators. The re-emergence or continued presence of the Klang River crocodile is a small but significant victory for conservation, reflecting a broader effort across Malaysia to restore its natural heritage. So what have we learned from our quest? We might not have spotted the elusive Klang River crocodile today, but its shadow looms large over Kuala Lumpur. It's a symbol of hope, that even in the most urbanized environments, nature persists. This creature, whether it's one solitary individual or a small, hidden population, reminds us that we share this planet, even our cities, with incredible wildlife. It's a call to appreciate, to protect, and to coexist. The mystery of the Klang River crocodile continues, a silent guardian of an urban ecosystem, teaching us that sometimes the most profound stories are found in the most unexpected places. They are ancient, they are powerful, and they're living right under our noses in one of the most futuristic cities on Earth. This year, in 2025, Singapore has been buzzing with news of them. Crocodiles, spotted in dams, crossing roads, and even a mass escape from a farm just next door. So I've hired a car, our official Crocmobile, and we're going on an expedition. We're going to visit the exact locations of these sightings to see if we can find Singapore's urban dragons and answer the question, are crocodiles becoming a problem in Singapore? This is Operation Croc Hunt. Our search begins here in the heart of modern Singapore. It's hard to imagine looking at all this, but this very river, the Klang River, was once teeming with saltwater crocodiles. A lot of colonial era records talk about crocodile hunts and massive reptiles being pulled from these waters, but they were the original residents. Today, as sightings here would be front page news around the world, the waterways are now managed. They're sealed off, but the system isn't entirely closed. The rivers still connect to the sea. So while the chance of seeing one here is almost zero, it's not 100% zero. A young, adventurous crocodile could theoretically navigate its way here through Marina Barrage. We're starting here to understand the scale of their disappearance from the city centre and set the stage for where they are now making their comeback. Okay, this is the area. You can immediately see why a crocodile would be here. And it's not obvious to start with, but if you look to the right and left, it's full of canals, mangroves, and just crocodile water. It's also just down the road over here, next to the largest crocodile farm in Singapore. Now, while MParks confirmed that the farm was secure, it shows that this entire area is prime crocodile territory. And the thing about these crocodiles is that they're masters of camouflage. It could be 10 feet away from us right now, and we'd never know. The road crosser was likely moving between water sources in the middle of the day. It's a reminder that even the roads here cut through their territory. We're the visitors. Hang on. I promised you crocodiles and I haven't delivered. That's not how we do things. Lucky for us, it's still early morning, and we're right near the one place in Singapore where my mates are always home. Before we find the phantoms, let's go see the royal family. Next stop, Sungei Buloh. This isn't a hunt, this is a visit. We are guests in their home. Sungei Buloh is the heart of crocodile territory in Singapore, and this is where you see what a healthy population looks like. Here we go. Look at this. It looks like a classic family outing. We've got a big one that does not like me being here and is hiding. Probably mum or dad. There's a medium-sized one and a smaller son just chilling on the bank together. This is a rare, peaceful moment. Shows how comfortable they are here. You can tell dad did not want me here because the moment he heard my footsteps leaving the boardwalk, he popped straight up to verify that I'm gone. Crocodiles have an incredible sense of intuition and their senses are top-notch. Even when they're underwater, they can sense and hear the vibrations of exactly where I am, which means that when they sneak up on their predators, they don't need to surface in the water. It's not just the big guys here today. Look at the juvenile crocodiles, the next generation. A lot of these guys will most likely be transitory, coming from Malaysia or Indonesia. They could also be the children of some of the large apex crocodiles in the region, but they're most likely going to be pushed out as most of the territory here is claimed. Look at them, just soaking up the sun, trying to stay out of the way of the big adults. Now, I am a bit worried about this juvenile crocodile. He's hanging out in the exact same spot that I saw a large saltwater crocodile just last week. I know it's the large salties territory, and this juvenile is just occupying it for now. He needs to scram and go find somewhere else to hide before he becomes dinner for the large salty. Okay, we need to quickly come back. There's a crocodile in hunting mode. It's stalking the bank. Let's see what he's going to have for dinner tonight. Okay, there's a bird. It's just sitting very patiently. You could almost see that this crocodile is waiting. There's no movement from its body at all. It's just waiting for that bird to get closer. Man, I think it missed the bird. But now he's pretty bored of what's going on here. He's gonna go down the river and see if there's any monkeys or other birds waiting on the bank. Whoa, look how close we get to this guy. He is not interested in me at all. He wants to get food. He is hungry. That is the power of an apex predator. And that hunter is why these animals are so vital.
He's found something. He's looking.
They are the best defense against invasive fish that people release. They act as the waterway's cleanup crew, eating dead animals and preventing disease. All of that helps maintain a healthy plant system. They don't just live here, they manage the place. Okay, we've seen the royal family. My promise is kept. Now, let's go find the crocodiles in areas that they may not belong. There's so much water here, and it's very unlikely that we're going to be able to see a crocodile unless we get into these mangroves. Unfortunately, they're military protected, so there's really not a lot we can do to go find this crocodile unless he decides to show himself to us. Now imagine the crocodile we just saw at Sungei Buloh, living right here. In January, one was filmed swimming in this very dam. It's a known residence. And here's the proof. They know he's here. For a crocodile, this is a perfect bachelor pad. It's full of fish and is connected to the sea. I'm looking around, seeing if we can spot one. There's plenty of monitor lizards around here. Look at this guy heading into the hole. What we're doing is we're looking for something that looks like a floating log, or just a pair of nostrils. It's a genuine thrill knowing it's out here, somewhere in this massive body of water. but he's not showing today. After seeing these giants in Sungei Buloh, maybe that's a good thing. Let's keep moving. We're checking off the rest of the hotspots. First, a quick stop at Lower Saltwater Reservoir. It's huge and connected to the same water system as the Yishun Dam. A croc seen there could easily swim here for a change of scenery. In fact, in 2019, a crocodile was caught right next to the golf course. Each location we get to, we're getting closer and closer to urban activity. This leads us to our final stop on this journey, somewhere that you would never expect a crocodile to turn out. But it also ends up being the best side of Singapore, the west side. We're going to This might seem like the most unlikely place on our list, but don't be fooled. We're in Croc, and this massive canal connects directly to Kranji Reservoir, which in turn connects to the Strait of Johor. In the past, crocodiles have been spotted in these urban canals right here. This for me is the most fascinating part of the story, the clash of two worlds. The wild, ancient reptile navigating the concrete veins of a modern metropolis. Imagine looking out of your apartment and seeing a 10-foot predator swimming past. It's a testament to how adaptable these animals really are. So our croc hunt is over. We drove across the entire country. We searched for the ghosts of Klang, the phantom of Lim Chu Kang, and the resident of Yichun, and the concrete travelers in Croc. But the question still stands. Are crocodiles becoming more of a problem in Singapore? And the answer is no. In the last 30 years, there have been 0 recorded attacks. Crocodiles are not a problem. NParks does an incredible job to make sure that crocodiles are kept separate from human beings, even though they're breeding and growing in population. The official advice from NParks is simple. If you see one, stay calm, don't approach it, and keep your distance. Even if they start entering our urban areas, they are separated and they are far away from major human activity. So always remember these key points. Crocodiles are not an invasive species. They will grow to the size that is required for their territory. That could be a pond or a large river. They may enter into urban areas, and when we're living in croc territory, we should always be croc-wise. That does not mean that we are necessarily unsafe from crocodiles or that we should be calling for a cull. Crocodiles will inhabit their own territory and they will prefer to leave us alone. Good morning. It is 6 a.m. at Kranji Reservoir. We're going to go find some crocodiles today and we're going to enter Sungei Buloh at 7 a.m. Let's go find them. After living in Singapore for 5 years, I'm tired of this place being called a concrete jungle. Today, I'm going to show you the wild side of Singapore. Today, the missus and I are going to show you the wilder side of Singapore and prove to you that concrete is not the defining factor of this country. Our journey starts at 6 a.m. at Kranji Reservoir. We're going to make our way up to the entrance of Sungei Buloh and hopefully catch a crocodile just as it's coming up for the morning sun. So we're making our entrance from the south side. Now, you may already be wondering, Callum, the entrance is concrete, you crossed a man-made bridge, what is going on here? I thought we're going into the wild. This is by design. There is a single path that you can follow all the way through the reserve, and that's it. The whole design is to protect the flora and fauna here, so you're only going to see a snippet of the wetlands themselves. There are other areas in Singapore where you can walk directly through bushland, but we're here for crocs, and my missus doesn't do well with bugs. So these areas are really good to find crocodiles. Now, if you look through here, what we can see is a lot of mangroves, so they'll have a lot of nests through this way as well. And when they have the nests, mothers are going to be very protective, but also they can hide very easily because you can see it's super muddy in this water. It's murky as. I reckon they're going to be more on the mangrove and the muddy side than the beach side over here, which is beautiful if you have a look. But I think this is the golden opportunity. It's about 7 a.m. We're going to find a croc today, a big one. Let's go. Speaking of Sheilas, we found a little girl right next to the water's edge. Now, she's here most likely waiting for prey. So there may be a monkey, a squirrel, a lizard that will come near the water's edge, unknowing that she's there, and she'll snatch them up and have some morning breakfast. I doubt there's any big males near her, as it's not mating season, so she's probably just hanging out here alone. I'm a little excited about the first croc of the day. It is a bit rare to see them at this time of year in June and July, so this is a really big win for us. And if you look even closer, I found Singapore's own version of Nessie. Anyway, onwards and upwards. We're gonna make our way towards the... Holy shit, what the hell is that? After some tactical maneuvers to avoid the spider, we found a lovely opening spot overlooking JB. This is one of my favorite things about Singapore, is that you can actually see the juxtapose between the city and nature. This is front and behind, by the way. Speaking of behinds, we're going to make our way up to the next viewpoint. We are about halfway through our adventure. Now, this is JB over on this side. If you come have a look down here, there's normally a little crocodile, juvenile male, that hangs around this little spot here. I don't see him very well today, but it's probably going to pop up at any point now. Now, you can see where the tree line is here and through to some of the mangroves over this side. This is where a lot of the crocodiles may have nests. So there will be a defensive mother at some point around here too. But just look outside. This is a brilliant view. Even if you don't see a crocodile, the walk itself is just fantastic. I mean, come on. We're already in Malaysia. Let's just keep going. There's another animal that we're not talking about here that is quite elusive and probably more dangerous than the actual crocodiles themselves. Water is pretty stagnant. The only thing that makes it move is maybe a bit of current and tides and the fish. So a lot of box jellyfish and irukandji will be in waters like this. So it's really important if you decide to kayak or canoe through here, you don't put your arms in the water. 100% would not suggest to swim here. A, crocodiles are going to go get you. They're territorial as all hell. And two, you get stung by a irukandji or a box jellyfish, say goodbye. So just make sure these waters, they're not moving very much. So just don't get in it. We're making our way down a path until we looked to our left and actually saw what we believe to be a large crocodile just floating in the water. Right, so we've got a crocodile over here. He's probably a little juvenile male. I can see he's maybe 2.5 to maybe 3 meters. And if you look a little closer over there, he's actually just getting the morning sun. So clearly I've gaslighted myself here because of the light. This is a stink. I'm sorry for leading you on here. We're gonna have to go and find another crocodile down the path. So we were pretty gutted that we'd spent all this energy trying to find a large crocodile and still hadn't found one. We spent the next 10 minutes looking in nooks and crannies and really just still couldn't find them. Eventually we ran into this group of monkeys and we decided, let's go follow them for a minute. They're on the same path and we just kept following them to see what they were going to do and where they were going to go. Eventually the pack leader up front stops and he decides to make sure that every other monkey behind him does not proceed further. So I was curious. I decided to have a look at what was stopping them. And then we go, bingo. Here's the big fella I've been looking for the entire day. Right here, right in front of us. This beautiful bastard would have been about 3.5, maybe even 4 meters long, and waiting for a monkey to come down for a little breakfast. It was awesome. Who would have known? In the concrete jungle, apparently, that this guy was rocking around and just enjoying life. This is true Singapore. Yes, you can get off at Changi Airport, hang out at Jewel, go to Marina Bay Sands, but if you're looking for something a little different and getting a taste of what Southeast Asian life is in the wild, come out to these areas in Singapore. There's tons of them. You just have to escape the city for a few hours. This is me signing off. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, and we'll see you next time. Enjoy, guys.